Welcome to our team call tonight, everyone. Thank you guys for jumping on a little bit earlier. The only announcement that I'll share with you guys is just a reminder that at 9 p.m. tonight, we have our Wine and Why Coach Sneak Peek. So if you haven't invited anyone to that yet, I still invite people. I know it's Thursday, but the rest of the week and even into next week, I invite people, and I change my invite to say my team just hosted an event where we shared more about the coaching opportunity. Would you like to learn more about it? And then I give them the link. So you can still invite people if you haven't yet. It's not too late. And if you have invited people, I make time on Friday, tomorrow, to follow up with them. So I will send every single person that I invited a message saying, hey, did you have a chance to hop on the team event last night just to get more info on coaching? Do you have any questions, or did you have a chance to watch all the videos? And with some sort of question so that they're more likely to respond to you. And I think that's it. That's the only tip. So we have Alexis Doss as our speaker tonight, and I'm super excited for her to talk to you guys because she presented on a mastermind call with other 3 to 5 star diamonds on recruiting and social media. And as she was giving this presentation, I was like, this is awesome. Like, it's so many small little tips that can change your business, I feel like, in lots of different and creative ways to work your business that a lot of, at least I don't think people on our team are doing, because I don't do it, so I don't share anything like that. So Alexis is a 3-star diamond right now. She is a Success Club All-Star. She started in March of 2013, and she is a 6-figure earner. So she definitely knows her stuff and has a strong team. And I'll pass it over to you, Alexis. You can share a little bit of your story or just jump right into your tips.
Okay. Hi guys. Thank you for hopping on, or if you're watching the recording, hi. I always like to say hi to those people. So she kind of, gave you a little bit rundown of my story. I don't want to get too much into my story because I'm the kind of person that if I start talking, I'll talk forever. And I know you guys have something to get to at 9, so I don't want to go past. I don't think I'll be talking for an hour, but just in case. But a little bit about me. Like I said, I signed up in March of 2013. Before I had kind of found Beachbody, I went to college to be a high school history teacher. Kind of at a quarter life crisis, decided that it wasn't for me, and moved across the country with this horrible guy, which I didn't think so at the time. Was in this really bad relationship, ended up being homeless for 3 months. Eventually got my life back together, and then was diagnosed with PCOS in February of 2013, which is kind of what started my health journey. I was always involved with fitness. I played volleyball for 13 years, but never was really involved with the whole clean eating type of thing, because I was always really thin, never had to worry about weight. Then I started gaining weight because PCOS is something that can, polycystic ovarian syndrome, it can cause weight gain, infertility, all this stuff. So I decided to start getting in a healthy lifestyle. Did that, started posting about my journey on social media. My coach found me on there, which is maybe why I'm good at my whole Instagram thing, because that's kind of how I was found. So, and then I just started getting involved with it right away. And I was that weird coach that I don't know if you necessarily call it weird, but a lot of coaches when they start are super afraid to talk about the coaching opportunity. They're afraid to invite to it. I started inviting people the day I signed up. Not because I wasn't afraid, just because I really didn't know what I was talking about. I was just like, hey guys, let's do this together. So, that kind of worked out. So the first 2 coaches I signed up ended up not only getting me to Emerald, but were my first diamond coaches and my first 2-star diamond coaches. One of them, you probably know, is Carly Del Carlo. She was number 7 in the company. She was top 10, 2014. She's really awesome. So I'm sure you guys know her, follow her on social media. So she was the second coach I ever signed up. So that's really it about me. I've had my ups and downs in the business, and what I'm going to talk to you guys about is kind of 2 parts. One being the main thing, and then kind of my little strategy that I like to share with people. And I have a little slideshow thing that I'm going to share with you guys. So if you could, oh no, so I can't see you. Can you unmute yourself and just let me know if that you can see this? This is all good, because I can't see anybody when I share my screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
Because it makes everybody disappear, which is weird because now I feel like I'm just talking to myself, but I'll survive. I've done it before. So what I'm talking about, and a lot of this, some of you guys, maybe if you're a newer coach, you're going to be like, oh, this is great. If you've been a coach for a while, and even if you've been using Instagram for a while, some of it you probably already know, but to make everything kind of come together, I like, just talking about the whole thing, because there's in every kind of presentation or call or anything like that, there's always going to be bits and pieces of information that are going to be good for each person. So I was never really good at like, technology or anything like that, or social media. Like I started my Instagram, but if you scroll back to like the beginning of my Instagram, it was pretty awful. Like the pictures were blurry. You couldn't read things. Like sometimes I wouldn't even put a caption. Like there was no hashtags. Like it was pretty awful. So if anything of these things that I say, because I'm going to talk about things that I want you to not do, if you're doing them or you've done them, don't be like, oh my God, because I did them too. The reason why I'm telling you not to is because I've learned from my mistakes. So don't worry if you're doing them. You're not a bad person. It's just, I'm trying to help you, get out of those things that you need to fix. So the first things that are the things that we're going to cover throughout this little presentation here. The first is going to be the look, which is going to be kind of the importance of even as simple as it may seem, your bio, the photos, and then the style of what it looks like. And we want everything to be really welcoming because social media is changing all the time, and there's tons of people on social media, and we want to have a profile that, because it's a first impression, when people come to it, they're going to want to stay. The second part is going to be the value. Content is king, but context is God. And I'm going to talk about exactly what that means. But this is super important when it comes to your social media. And then the process, and that's kind of going to be where I'm going to talk to you about my inviting process and how I build relationships, because I do 98.89% of my business is completely through Instagram. I use Facebook and Snapchat and other things like that. Well, now I'm probably leaning a lot towards Snapchat too, but a lot of that is Instagram. More than anything. So kind of like that strategy and really giving it time. And then after, we can do a Q&A. If you guys have any questions at all, do not hesitate to ask. I am an open book. I always joke for people who follow me on social media, if you actually follow me on Snapchat and saw my Snapchat today, you'll probably see that I was super TMI, but I'm like, I'll tell you anything. I never hide anything. Sometimes I've had coaches ask me, like, are you ever afraid of giving away all this information? I don't see it as a, scarcity mindset. I will share all my information and my secret ways of doing stuff, because I believe that, giving, is a good thing. And I don't mind giving out to people. So you guys can totally ask any questions you have. So the first thing, like I said, we're going to talk about is the look. And this is going to be what draws people in. Your bio, the way your pictures look, the layout of your Instagram and all that stuff. And then again, remember, none of this you have to be like a super perfectionist at, and you don't have to be good at it right away. It's just putting that little bit of time and effort into these things that are going to be kind of like the game changer for you. So the social media world is completely filled with people, and then the health and fitness industry has completely saturated social media, especially Instagram, because a lot of people are like, if anybody listens to Shalene's podcast, Build Your Tribe, she recently did one about how, like, is Instagram dead? Because so many people are like, either that there's too many Beachbody coaches on Instagram, or Instagram is too saturated. But that's not true. Facebook just recently, well, not just recently, but not too long ago, bought Instagram, because Instagram is a strong market. It's just like YouTube. Like, it's not going anywhere. Even if they need to change things, they're going to change things to keep them in the forefront. We have to just change with them. You have to make sure that what you're doing with your social media is going to make you stand out. There's tons of people on social media, so you have to make sure that whatever you're doing is different than somebody else. And your story is really going to be what makes you different from everybody else, because everybody's, posting pictures of their breakfast or their workout, which is totally fine. Like I always tell my team, you still need to make sure you're doing that, but sharing your specific story is so insanely important to your social media. I have a coach right now that's doing really well, but something she struggles with is being vulnerable. And I know that it's not just, it's easy to just say, be vulnerable. I know it's not that simple, but you have to really figure out what your vibe attracts your tribe. And if you figure out what your niche market is, or if you like yoga, or you're a cat mom, or you have 6 kids, or whatever it is about you, you want to continually share that, with whatever you're posting, even if it's something as simple as like something that you're eating that day. I always try to find a way where I'm connecting my story, as much as I can to what I'm posting. And people can't connect with you on a deeper level if you're just another Instagram account. They're not going to really, because they come across these same Instagrams all the time that are posting the same things. You have to do something that's going to make them be like, oh, okay, this person, you know, is a little bit different. Like if you follow me on Instagram, I know I post workout videos. I didn't always post workout videos, but now I like to do what's called shuffling. I don't know if you can check out my Instagram, but at the end of my workout videos, I put on my light up shoes because I like to go to music festivals, and I do this whole like little shuffling thing, and people love that. I also have a little English bulldog who's always in the way when I'm working out, and I add him to my workout videos, and I hashtag it like working out with Ned, because he's like a pain in the butt to work out with. But people like that. I'm not saying you have to know how to dance or like have a cute little English bulldog in order to make your Instagram like super awesome. Not that I'm saying my Instagram's super awesome, but you know what I mean. But you just have to find a way that's going to make you stick out, even if it's, you know, just the smallest thing. So your bio, again, I know this seems super simple, but I can tell you how many times I go to someone's Instagram and even they're not even like a new coach. They've been a coach for a while and they're making these mistakes. So this is someone's first impression and a way to get to know you. So I know when I'm looking for people on Instagram or I come across somebody's page, the first thing I do is read their bio, because that's like you learn a little bit about them. Sometimes it says where they're from. Sometimes it says how old they are. You want to make sure that it's easy to read. It's not one big paragraph. If you're wondering how you make it so it's like that, you know, paragraph type of thing or the indentation type of thing, all you have to do is go to the notepad section of your phone and type it how you want and just, you know, do the indentations and then copy and paste it within the bio and save it. And then it should be that way. You can't actually put the indentations in Instagram. I don't know why, but that's the way around it. You want to kind of give them a glimpse into who you are. So I have PCOS. I'm a big on holistic nutrition. So, you know, I focus on that. I have, you know, English bulldog. I love to travel, and I have my email, and the link is super important. Not enough people are using it. Now, you don't have to have a YouTube channel. Like I do. And well, not really like a channel. I kind of post videos on there, just occasionally. I plan on doing more of like a YouTube channel, but, if it's just like maybe a link to like a Facebook group you're a part of, or a link, you know, I don't know, maybe like something that connects to you, you really want to try to use that as an opportunity for people to connect with you. And if you don't have, I just love using it. Like I change it depending, like if I have a challenge group going on and I have a link for them to fill out, you know, a form, I'll put that in there. But most of the time I have my story on there. And even if you're a brand new coach, or maybe you've been a coach for a while, I really highly suggest that you record a video of you talking about your story and why you joined Beachbody. And you don't have to have a crazy story about you being homeless like me or anything like that, but your story or whatever it is, the reason why you joined Beachbody, if people are following you for a while, eventually they're going to click on that. I can't tell you how many people have gone to that and like, I finally watched, you know, your YouTube video about your story, and like I never knew X, Y, and Z. And I think it's just a good opportunity for people to use, and they aren't using it to their advantage. One thing I want you to do is not put your Beachbody link in there. Don't put that you're a Beachbody coach. You are not a Beachbody coach. Beachbody coaching is a part of your life, but you are not a Beachbody coach. That's not like, it's not, I don't like when people have like, you know, Sarah underscore BB coach. And again, if you're doing that, I'm not making fun of you. It's just something, one, that could turn people off. Some people do have this negative connotation towards Beachbody, and it's just better if you let them get to know you first before they ever find out you're a Beachbody coach. It's not that you're hiding it, but sometimes people need to warm up to you first. And I'd rather them get to know me, so then when they find out I am a coach and they're like, wait, I actually like this person, versus like, oh my God, she's a coach, I don't even want to get to know her. So that's just something I suggest. With pictures, oh my gosh, my number one rule is do not post blurry pictures. I have a coach right now on my team who I'm constantly having to remind. Like, it literally looks like when she takes a picture, she's just like running a mile and then taking like a picture of her breakfast at the same time. Like, people can't see it. It does, and it doesn't have to be the prettiest thing ever. Like I get like in position to take my pictures, like, and you don't have to necessarily do that. I mean, I wasn't doing that in the beginning, but I like to take that few extra seconds to do that. All my food pictures I take from like an aerial view. So that's just me sitting up. I do it at a restaurant. I don't care. My boyfriend or my friends make fun of me. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm working my business. I like to take it because it's, you know, I just like the way it looks. This picture that I have of my dog, of Ned, was literally on the bathroom floor, and I laid down flat on my stomach and like got like all up in his face in order to get like the kind of picture that I wanted. And I'm not saying you have to do all these crazy things, but if you find like a staple, like for me, if you go to my Instagram, I'm One Fit Coconut. Like you see the picture on the right, I have all my food pictures have a black background to them. And I'll show you guys the style that I'm talking about in the next slide. They all have a black background to them. Now, when I was in my other house, I had a white background. And then when I lived in Los Angeles for a bit, my sister actually bought me this really cute like pattern thing that I was putting my food on. And you don't have to like, I know it's not always easy to do that, but I actually have a black purse. So if ever I'm like out, I don't necessarily put my like plate of food on there. Like sometimes like you see in the top left picture, it was just like a regular, food picture. I didn't have the black background, but I always like to kind of set the stage if I can, because when people come to your page, it's just something different. Like if you've ever gone to somebody's Instagram and they have this like form to it, it just looks a little bit more eye-catching, and I know I'm more likely to follow them or want to check them out if they have just a little bit kind of like something that sticks out. And also make sure that you show your face. So many people aren't showing their face, and people cannot connect to you if they don't know what you look like. So many times I follow someone and they never post a picture of their face, and then once they finally do, or if they happen to post a video and I hear their voice, I think it's like the coolest thing ever. I don't know why, but people can really connect to you when they see your face and they can hear your voice. And not enough people are doing the whole selfie thing, and I really think a lot more people should. What else? And try to make sure that you're being you. Don't just copy someone else's style to a complete T. You can always use it as like an inspiration, but make sure that you make it your own. You can, if you decide that you want to do like a solid background type of thing. I'm not saying if you do black, I'm going to think that you're copying off of me, but like think of a color. If you're a bright and vibrant person, I'm not necessarily like a dark person. That's why I'm using black. I just think it looks good with my Instagram. But think of something that like works for you. These are some of the apps that I use to add, the words to. I absolutely love Word Swag. If you don't have iPhone, I don't think you can use Word Swag, but Rana Designs in the bottom right hand corner, that's for Android. I love A Beautiful Mess because I keep white sides on all my pictures. So in A Beautiful Mess, you can shrink and make pictures to fit into like a white or colored backgrounds. I like that. Afterlight just adds different effects to pictures. I use the same filter for all of my food pictures and my like pictures that are either of me or like my dog or something. InstaShot is a video like editing app. And it also can make you have white borders on the side of your pictures. So many people ask me, how do you get white borders on the side of your videos? And I use InstaShot. And then Canva, I absolutely adore. I use that for all my big like challenge group posts. When I'm really like, if you see any of like the pictures I have on my Instagram that have like word editing on them, you either have Word Swag or they're Canva. Canva is only a thing that you can use on your laptop. You can't use it on your phone, but it's absolutely amazing. I highly suggest everyone try to get the hang of it because it's just really, really awesome. So the style. So as you can see on the right hand side, that is what my Instagram looks like. I like when Instagrams have the whole column thing. Now you don't have to do that. I've seen people do like the every other. So they'll have like a picture, like a fitness picture, and then a white quote, and then food, and then white quote. So it's kind of almost like a checkerboard. I like to keep them in columns. And at first I thought it was harder for me to figure out posts, but now I love it because I know like when a quote's about to come up, I'm going to post a quote or food or workout videos. I did not have this system in the beginning. So don't feel like if you have this, then your Instagram's not good. But as you can see, I keep quotes in one row, I keep food in the next, and then I do workout videos. And if I don't have a workout video, every day I usually do. I just actually hurt my back, so I was not working out for 3 weeks. I finally am back to working out, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy, your shuffling videos are back, your workout videos are back." And I was like, I didn't even know people really cared. And the way you do that, if you're wondering, people ask, whatever picture, so you see it's quotes, food, workout videos, whatever is on the third column, that is going to be what you want to post next. Because if there's workout videos on the right, I'm going to post a workout video next because everything's going to shift. So workout videos are going to go first, and then quotes are going to go in the middle, food's going to go next. So that's how you do. Whatever's on the very far right is the picture you post next. It took me forever to figure that out, like the longest time, but then you finally do, and then it works. So if you want to see if you have some kind of theme, if you're like, I do workout videos, but you don't have to do that. I have tons of coaches that are like, I want to have a theme, but like, I don't like to post videos of me working out. Totally fine. If you do yoga poses, or maybe you make you could do your Shakeology, but you could post it in different kind of cups every day. Like, try to think outside the box of something that's going to make you different. if you have a different kind of like staple, if you're really funny, if you are super kid friendly, so you have a lot of kid recipes, or your kids are always involved in your page, if you're a pregnant mom, stuff like that, if you have pets or anything, if you have different colored backgrounds, whatever you want, and then if you have like filters and stuff like that. So the second part is the value, and so the look was what draws people in. The value is what makes the people stay. Like I said, content is king, but context is God. And I had this video, but I actually don't want to share it because I kind of want to talk about something a little bit later. And it's good, but it's not that great. So I was just gonna, completely skip past that. So Gary Vaynerchuk is like my, man. I have this book. If you are, not my bookcase down. This is probably backwards, but this says Jab Jab. This is his book, Jab Jab Jab, Right Hook, by Gary Vaynerchuk. If you want to know like all about the stuff I'm talking about, I learned from him. He's so good with social media. He knows what people want. He knows what people pay attention to, and everything I've learned from him. So, with all of this, there's two things that you want to focus on. You want to respect the platform that you're on. So people have a different mindset based on the platform that they're on. When people are on Facebook, they are just there to connect with people. When people are on Instagram, they're just there to look at pretty pictures. Like Instagram was originally created just for like the indie style, cool artistic pictures, the cool filters and taken in weird places and all that stuff. So you want to respect those platforms. So when you're on Facebook, you don't want to, or on Instagram, you don't want to put up this thing with a bunch of stock images or something that is just going to look like it disrupts the platform. You want to recognize what people like based on the platform. And if you understand that flow and the way everything goes, that's going to, go a really long way. So that's why I think adding the flair and the style to Instagram is really good, for that platform, because that's what people are going to look for. So when they're scrolling through their Instagram, they're not just going to want to completely scroll past your picture when it's just you putting like Autumn and the 21 Day Fix like up there. Like no one wants to see that. You also need to make sure you respect the audience, and you want to make sure you stay true to yourself. This is kind of sometimes I feel like gets mixed up, but you want to make sure that you stay true to yourself, but you also post content that people that post content that they will like, not just what you want to see, while you're still staying true to yourself. And I always give and the other part of it says posts need to be stated in a way that appeals to the audience and their wants and desires. So I give these two examples. Gary always gives this example. So he gives this wine example, and he's like, you could make a post if you were selling wine and you were going to post it on Instagram or Facebook, and you could just say like, you could even make it pretty and put like, the top 10 wines, or the top wines that are on sale this month or something like that. Or you could word it as top 10 wines for moms with kids under the age of 5. So many, moms are going to, it's like a BuzzFeed thing. Like people are going to be like, oh my God, like I need to know that. I have kids under 5. I need to drink wine, that type of thing. When it goes for a challenge group, you could put, 21 Day Fix, you want to lose 8 to 10 pound days, 8 to 10 pounds in 21 days. Who wants to join me? Summer challenge group. Or, in the content, the caption of the post, or even include it in like the actual, challenge group thing. You could put like a little black dress, and let's say it was right before New Year's Eve, and you could say, the little black dress challenge, and in the caption say something like, I never was able to fit into a little black dress, or maybe you're still on your journey to fit into that little black dress. And you could say, and now for the first time ever, with this program that I did 3 rounds of, I am fitting into this little black dress for New Year's Eve. Like who else has that goal? Or maybe if you're not there yet, you could say, I have this goal too. Like, let's work this together. People are going to connect so much more to like, oh my God, I've always wanted to fit into a little black dress, versus just, I want to lose 8 to 10 pounds. Everybody wants to lose 8 to 10 pounds. And that's the difference between the content, which is just what you're putting out there, which is, like I said, content is king. It's important to have really good content, because that's going to be what draws people in. But the context of how you're really, the difference between just a challenge group, 8 to 10 pounds, which that being like the kind of the content of it, or making it pretty, but the context and really, connecting with people on a different level is really going to be what makes the difference. you want to make sure that you don't interrupt the experience of whatever the platform is. You want to make sure that you bring value and not a roadblock to people. So this bottom left picture where you see just the Shakeology and the Target gift card and like it just like if I saw it on my Instagram, I would just be so bothered by that. It just doesn't look appealing. Like no one's going to see that and be like, yes, oh my God, I want that. Maybe because the Target gift card's there. But so my challenge group for April, as you see on the right, that was my call to action for people to join my challenge group. Summer was coming up. I put, the kale, the blueberries, I put a picture of me working out. And I keep it simple with the words, best version of you challenge group. We start Monday, April 25th. Support, recipes, meal plans, prizes. Join us for accountability with my email. I keep it simple. I don't, we are, selling 21 Day Fix or those programs and stuff like that. But I want people to connect with me and they see best version of you challenge group. And the picture, like I shrink that down so it fits on Instagram using a beautiful mess. But that, the pretty like graphics look way better on Instagram, even on Facebook, versus that picture to the left. And then you see in the top, and on the top picture, that's my 3-day refresh group. Again, and I got those pictures off of like Google or something. I don't even know. I think I actually got them on Canva. But I keep it so when people see it, it's going to catch their eye because I at least have the text in there, but it still looks appealing, to the platform. And you want to make sure that you bring value. I always tell this other example. One time it was like a few summers ago, I went to Whole Foods and I found this bag of like sprouted watermelon seeds. And like you get sunflower seeds and all these other kind of seeds, but I've never seen watermelon seeds. So I took a picture and I was going to post on Instagram, but instead of just posting it on Instagram, be like, oh my God, these are so good, because they were really good. I was like, what can I do to make sure that I'm actually giving people value? I'm not just that same person posting another thing on Instagram. So I Googled top 5 benefits of watermelon seeds. And it was like good in like beta carotene, it had fiber, like all those things. And so included in my post, I was like, in case you didn't know, here are the top 5 benefits of watermelon seeds. And people are like, oh, no way. I started a ton of conversations from it. And I don't do that in every single post because a lot of times I forget. But when I always try to remember, when you're posting on social media, find ways to bring value to people, because people are going to find it hard to say no to you when you build a relationship with them and then you give them value. Because when you ask them or you call it, you invite them to something, they're going to remember in the back of their head, like, this person actually gives value to me, or like gives me these cool ideas or these recipes or anything like that. Like, you want to make sure that you're bringing value to people. And consistency and self-awareness are 2 really important things when it comes to this, or when it comes to social media. You want to make sure that you're sticking to your brand, your mission, your vision. Like, if you don't have some kind of vision of like what you want your team to look like, whether that's a team, not that you can't work with everybody, but like in general, you're going to have, if you're a mom, you're probably going to have a team of other moms. I'm not a mom. I only have a few moms on my team, but I'm younger, and a lot of us, we all like music festivals, and we all are dog moms. Like, that's my brand. So really figure out what you want that to be, and you can work with anybody, but it's gonna be easier for you to connect with people if you remember that. And return to it often in your post when you can. Like, I have PCOS. I'm not talking about it in every single post, but when I can, I'm making sure I talk about it, because I know that I'm going to connect with people who have PCOS. If you're somebody who lost 200 pounds, or maybe you're somebody who, is dealing with another kind of autoimmune disorder, stuff like that, it's going to be really important. You want to make sure that you spend time with your audience. Don't just post, and then when people comment, don't comment back. I see so many times people aren't interacting with people on their posts. If you're, prospecting someone, make sure that you're interacting with them, because it's going to be so much easier to build a relationship with them, and then eventually invite them, which is something I'm going to talk about. And so then the process. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about my process. I'm going to talk to you about this, and then the whole reach out to them thing is kind of what I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about. So this is just something I kind of made up. This isn't like an exact strategy I follow, but it's basically the system I use every single day, every single week, every single month. And it's how I continually hit Success Club 10 without question. Like, it's non-negotiable. I just use this and I just go for it. So it starts with content. You have to make sure that you're putting out content based on who you want to connect with, whatever your niche market is, your target market, your Sally. So whatever you're posting, you want to think your Sally is the person that you want to see that post and connect and be like, yes, or reach out to you, or just want to follow you, like that person who you want to catch their eye. So all that stuff I talked about, make sure that you're using that when you're putting out your content. Then you want to make sure that you're finding others that are, one, doing the same. So other people that are already on their health and fitness journey are kicking butt with Instagram or whatever, inspiring other people. Those are the people who you're going to want to be your coaches. Then you're going to want to find others that need your help. That you can already tell that they're on a journey, but maybe they're struggling because they're posting that they think lean cuisine is the healthiest thing on the planet, or that they think that fat-free syrup is like the best thing ever. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. You want to keep your eye out for those people, and then make sure that you're interacting with them and building relationships with people. I just had a one-on-one with a girl yesterday who isn't on my team but is in my downline, and we hadn't never talked before. She had just recently got added to my team page, so I know that that's why she didn't know this, because I'm big on building relationships. And she said that she has 10 coaches on her team, but she feels like she's, inviting a lot, but no one is really saying yes. So I asked her what her process was of inviting, and she said that she'll, send a conversation starter and talk to somebody, but then, if they like her post or something, she'll ask them, like, have you ever wondered about what I do? And then when sometimes they'll, which I don't think is a good idea anyway, but sometimes they'll say yes, and she'll, they'll ask, like, what exactly does she do? And then she just sends them the Beachbody video that's like that 7-minute video, which I still use, but not to like a very long time into talking to them. But she sends it to them right away, and so many people don't respond. And I'm like, because you did no in-between work. Our business, I think a lot of times coaches are forgetting that we're in the business to help people. This isn't just about building our team, building our business. We are here to help people. So you have to build relationships and build trust with people, because how much easier is it to invite someone that you've spent time in building a relationship with versus, not knowing really anything about them. So reaching out to them. So I'm going to try to quickly go over where am I at on time, because I know that you guys have something. Okay, so I'm going to try to make this quick. So my process, I literally follow every single day. I've been doing the same thing for so long, and it works. Sometimes, this, I know, we're going through this lull. It's this pre-summit slump. Everybody's kind of going through it. Mars is actually in retrograde. Sorry, this is me being a hippie, but it's done June 29th. So if you feel like you've been in a funk since about April, in about 6 or 7 days, Mars is going out of retrograde. So everything's going to be back to normal. Still have to push and do the work, but that's just me being a hippie. Anyway, so my process of what I do is every week, building a contact list is so important. I tell all my coaches this is the non-negotiable I make for them, and I make anybody new that I come in contact with. The one thing you should be doing, and you should build your business off of, is every single week on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, you have an hour before your week starts, sit down and find 30 people, or you can do 20, whatever. I mean, if you want to hit Success Club, that means you need to be talking to at least 30 people in a month, which, so I do 60 new people every single week, but that's a lot. I'm not expecting everybody to do that, but you need to make sure that you're building some kind of contact list. So let's say you do 30 people every single week. So the way I find people is I pick like 3 hashtags, and I'll go through Instagram and I'll just search through, you can search the hashtag. I click on pictures and I look for people that are either would make really good coaches or really good challengers. I make sure that they're not in the US and that they are already doing like It Works or something like that. Like, I do not go after those people. And then I write their Instagram handle down. I also go through all my social media posts from the week before, and any new people that I see, because who's kind of continually liking your pictures. I go through those people and I write their names down, and I write what picture they like. So like, for example, let's say they liked a picture of like, I post a picture of Trader Joe's cashew butter. I'll message them and I'll put them on my contact list, and then I message everybody. And like the people who like that picture, I would message them and say, hey, I saw you liked my picture of Trader Joe's cashew butter. Have you ever tried it? Like, it's so much better than almond butter. And so many times people comment, they'll message me back and be like, we don't have Trader Joe's in Canada. I wish we did. And then I'll be like, oh, no way. You're from Canada? I have some friends in Canada. Have you always lived there? And boom, I'm starting a conversation with them. And with that contact list, however I do it, whether I'm finding them through Instagram or however you find them, if you don't do Instagram, maybe you do Facebook, or however you're finding people, you need to find at least 30 people. So what I do with those people is I message every single one of them. Usually it's just a message that says, hey, I just found your page randomly. I absolutely love, your page. You're doing an awesome job, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to say, like, keep it up. And I keep it simple. And then I start a conversation with those people. And usually they're like, thank you. I appreciate it so much. This was so nice to hear. And then the way I continue the conversation is I ask them a question based off something on their page. So, and every single time, no matter what it is, but it's just whatever there. So if they post a really cool, like, snack that they got from Whole Foods and I've never seen before, once they say thank you so much, I'll message them back and be like, oh, by the way, I'm like, sure, of course, and no problem, I love spreading positivity. By the way, where did you get those gluten-free Oreo cookies? Like, they look so amazing. And then they tell me, and then I just continue the conversation as much as I can, because a lot of people are like, well, how do I continue the conversation? People are always like, well, how do I direct the conversation to health and fitness? I never wait for the conversation to move to health and fitness. I'm going to tell you why. So I build a conversation from there. And then my next process is inviting them over to Facebook or Snapchat. So if the conversation is moving pretty well and I continue the conversation, I will just send them an invite that says, oh, by the way, do you have a Facebook or a Snapchat? Like, I love your positive vibe. I personally love to surround myself with positive people. And, I feel like if you surround yourself with positive people, that's what you're going to get back. And so many times people are like, oh my God, I agree with that too. They either give me their Facebook. If they don't have their Facebook, I just continually, if they don't have a Facebook, then I hope that they have a Snapchat. And then I just do the same process with Snapchat. I'm just snapping them based off whatever they posted in their story. Like every 2 days, every 2 to 3 days, I'm going to snap them based off something that they post. Same idea as commenting on something on their Instagram. If they don't have a Facebook, then every few days I'm just going to interact with them on an Instagram post. So, and I track all of this. I have a video of it. I can send it, to you guys if you want to check it out. But I use Google Streak so I can track everyone. So, because I talk to a lot of people. So in order to remember to check in with all these people, I use Google Streak. There's a system that you can put notes, you can put what their Instagram handle is, their Facebook, all that stuff, and you can set a reminder to whenever you want to check in or to interact or to invite or whatever you want to do. I'm not going to get too much into it because it's like a 26-minute video. You can totally watch it if you want. It's amazing. I went from like barely hitting Success Club 5 to continuously hitting Success Club 10 and signing up like 10 coaches a month once I did this because I was so organized. But I track everybody through that. So if they don't have a Facebook, I'm interacting with them every few days because Google Streak is going to remind me to interact with these people. So once I move them over to Facebook or I'm just interacting with them, then again, I never wait for the conversation to move over to Facebook or I never wait for the conversation to move to health and fitness. I just become their friend. I don't wait for the right time to invite. I just get to know them really well. I know these people's where they live. I know that if they're married, if they have kids. I joked with people about the fact that their dog just had a cone on their head and it was running around. Like, I get to know these people so well, and I do it over a period of 3 weeks to a month. And after 3 weeks to a month, I look at where our conversation is going, whether it's how many, because you can tell, even though I'm talking to 60 people a week, once I check in, then Google Streak tells me to check in with the person. I can go to their page and I'm going to know whether I interacted with them a lot or not. And if I have, I'm going to either invite them to a clean eating group, I'm either going to invite them to coaching, or I'm going to invite them to a challenge group. Most of the time, it's either just clean eating group or coaching. And I don't wait for the conversation. I don't wait for us to be having a conversation about health and fitness. I personally send all my invites on like Wednesday or Thursday. So everybody who I've been talking to over the past 3 weeks to a month, because since I'm doing it every month, I constantly have a funnel of people. Once that Wednesday or Thursday, right before my clean eating group comes up, coaching, I usually just kind of send out randomly, depending on once that 3 weeks to a month hits. If I'm sending them a clean eating group invite, it's just like, hey, by the way, I meant to mention I'm having this free clean eating group. It's on Facebook. It's just 5 days. You get a grocery list and a meal plan. There's no cost. You just grab the food. It's great accountability. I don't know if you'd be interested in something like this, but I'd love to have you. And then I send that clean eating group invite to everyone who I've really been talking to. Now, if it's somebody who I've been interested in coaching, I will either send them the same kind of invite, but basically like, hey, I know you already like kill it with clean eating, but I don't know if maybe you just want the extra accountability because I know I do too. Or I just straight up send them a coach invite, which usually says something like, hey, can I ask you a question? I've been following your health and fitness journey for a while now, which they realize because we've been interacting on Snapchat, Instagram, or Facebook. I've been following your health and fitness journey for a while now, and I just have to ask you this question. I'm sure you've been asked before, but I just feel compelled to. I don't know, or I feel like you would make such a great coach on my team. I know you have probably no idea what I'm talking about, but I would love to talk to you a little bit more about it. Like, would you be interested in more information? And almost always people are. So then I talk to them more about coaching, go into that whole spiel. For the people I invite to my clean eating group, once the 5 days is over, I message them and say, hey, how did you like the clean eating group? They say yes, they liked it, or maybe they weren't able to be in it because they were busy. Either way, I'm inviting those people to the challenge group. Oh, you loved it, or oh, you weren't able to be a part of it? Well, just so you know, I have a little bit more structured challenge group that's coming up at the end of the month. I'd love for you to be a part of it. It's the same kind of idea, except everybody gets a workout program in Shakeology, and it's really awesome. It's going to be great, blah, 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 blah. Would you be interested in more information? And that is the exact same process I follow for every single new person I talk to. I give great content, I build relationships with people, and then I invite them, and I do all of that. So that's kind of like, I know I kind of went off on like that whole tangent, but that's really what I do. So the other parts of that, reach out to them, direct message, which is the whole thing I just talked about. Shout out to Women Crush Wednesday, or Man Crush Monday if you want to do that. Anybody who I'm like prospecting and I want them to really know that like I think they're awesome, I'll do shout outs. Make them my Women Crush Wednesday. I won't even ask them. Sometimes I will, but I like to tag prospects and challenges. So if it's like a stop, drop, and chug, I'm going to tag them. Like all of that stuff. I like to tag people. So then again, I'm finding ways to continuously really get to know people. I'm not waiting for the conversation to move to health and fitness. I'm just getting to know them. So when I send them that invite, it's not weird. They're like my friend. We just joked the other day about, the cone on their dog's head. Like, it's just so natural for me to invite them that I never feel weird, ever. And with all of this, you have to give it time. None of this is going to happen overnight. All of this, you guys probably won't really see the full benefits of for at least a month to 3 months of. Like a lot of my coaches, when they started doing it, they like weren't sure about it and they were trying it out. But now I have all of them that are like, oh my God, things are finally clicking. Like, this takes time. So you have to remember that. So that's really it. I always like to say whenever I speak on a team call, do not be a knowledge hoarder. If you're like, oh my God, this was great, like I want to use this right now, don't just write it in your notebook and let it be words on a piece of paper. Go out and implement it. Even if you're not really sure how to do it, just go try it. Because if you don't, this call will mean nothing. You will have learned stuff, and then if you don't actually go out and do it, none of it will mean anything. So so I know I blab on. I know you guys only have 15 minutes, but if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
I love that. I love the last tip of actually like do something about this. Because I do think, even myself, I used to watch like so many YouTube videos when I was a new coach, and then I would like just listen, not take action. So that was,
yeah. Do, and it's really good. It's always good to take notes, but I have so many knowledge hoarders on my team. They go through all my trainings. They watch 17 YouTube videos in a row, and they know everything, but they don't do anything. And knowing things does nothing for your business. So.
Mm-hmm. So I liked two things that you said. One of on the first slide, I wrote it down. It said people cannot connect with you on a deeper level if you're just another account. And like, don't be perfect, just share your story. I feel like a lot of people do exactly what you said, and like they just share their healthy meal and just say dinner tonight. Like people can't connect with that. So remember to share your story. And then, I loved how you said how you don't wait for the right time, because that's probably the number one question I get, especially from new coaches, because they're like, I know that I need to build a relationship, but how do you bring it around to health and fitness?
Don't have to. Oh my gosh, that's like my biggest pet peeve. And not like I get mad, but like I try to drill that in my coaches right away. I don't remember the last time I waited for somebody to bring up health and fitness. I will sometimes invite someone, and if the conversation has we've never even talked about like lifting a weight, like ever.
I love that. So does anyone have any questions? I think I have two that I wrote down, but does anyone listening have questions?
I have a question. Yeah. So you just said at the end, it takes about, like, we wouldn't notice the benefits from 1 to 3 months. How long did it take you to actually get that started though? Because you don't have all this like lists of people initially. So like, how many friends were you adding per day, or conversations were you starting per day just to get you started in this process?
So I honestly, I don't know what I was doing. I did this for 2 years before I've only been doing this for like maybe like a year or a little bit less than a year. I don't know what I was doing before. Like, I had this kind of system, but it wasn't as like as much of a system. Like my Google Streak, like I'll send Samantha the video so she can show you guys, because I just showed a bunch of new coaches and another downline, and they were like, you've made us a believer. We're all streakers. Like, it is the best thing in the entire world. But before I was doing that, I kind of was just like picking people out at random. Like, I didn't have any kind of system. I was occasionally writing people's names down. But the way that you start it, my biggest tip would just be like this week, like this Sunday, make it like a non-negotiable, just like Success Club. Make it a non-negotiable to sit down for an hour and make sure you write 30 names down on a piece of paper, and those are your contacts for the week. And then once you do that, I personally find I find 60, but once I have all my Instagram names or whoever, Facebook people who I'm messaging, I just message all of them on the same day. So what a lot of people do who work full-time jobs, like I do this because I do Beachbody full-time, but I like it because once you have that list of 30 people, then throughout the week, you're just plucking 2 or 3 names off that list and messaging them every day. And it's messaging them just saying, hey, I love your page, whatever you want to do. But then, and just plugging them into your system, whether it's Google Streak, there you can use Asana, you can use Excel. I just like Google Streak. But I would just, if you want to find a place to start with 30 contacts every single week, and eventually it will start to build up. Like this past 3 weeks, I've been really busy with traveling, so I haven't added any new people to my contact list for the first time in forever. 3 weeks without adding 60 new people. Yet right now, because I was gone for a week, I have 170 Google Streak notifications, each being one person for me to check in with. Because I've been doing this for so long, I have that many people to follow up with because I built such a good funnel. It just starts with that contact list. That is the number one thing, is just start with a new, fresh contact list and then build on it from there.
Yeah, I like that idea because I'm trying to do something like that where I use Google Docs. So I'll have like a list of people that I, message who haven't messaged me back yet, another list of people that I'm talking to, and then another list of like ready to invite. But I have such a hard time moving people into the ready to invite because we haven't chatted enough or they're just not responding quick enough. So,
and a lot of times people are always like, well, how do I invite someone like me? I don't have to wait for that right time, but our conversation, like we haven't really had much of a conversation. The way I avoid that, there's some people who I invite who I didn't actually even have more than like a 3, paragraph back and forth thing with, but because all I did was interact with them for 3 weeks straight on their Instagram. Some people don't have conversations, but if I'm honest, every 2 or 3 days, sometimes it's not every 2 or 3 days because some people aren't interacting with me as much, but people who are, I'm Snapchatting them, I'm interacting with them. And then I feel that I've interacted with them enough, asked them enough questions on their Instagram about their dog or what, do you have a recipe for that? Or Snapchatting them, where are you at? Oh my God, that looks so gorgeous. Like, I'm always asking questions, but I've done that enough with them that I'm inviting them anyway. So on Snapchat, I'll invite someone to coaching because I've snapped them 62 times over the past month. Maybe not, that's a lot. But eventually I'm like, hey, I've been following your story. And when I say that, they're not like, wait, you've been following my story? They know I've been following my story. I Snapchatted them all month long, so that wouldn't be weird. So I just make it easy for myself. So yeah. Google Streak, once you see it, if you're using Google Docs, watch my Google Streak video. You're going to be like, oh my God, it makes life so much easier. The only thing I do tell people is Google Streak is free itself, but the notification and the reminder thing actually costs money. It's $40 a month, but you can pair up with some people and you get like 15% off. One, I think it's 100% worth it. Like without it, I don't know what I would be doing. It's like doubled my productivity. And you can, if you don't want to actually use that feature, there's a reminder feature. You can buy a reminder app on your phone, and every time you put somebody in Google Streak, just put a reminder within your phone. Like set up a folder and do it that way and cheat the system if you really don't want to pay for it. I just pay for it because it makes it easier and it's simple and it's awesome.
So you said that like Sundays is your day to get contacts, and then like Wednesdays or Thursdays you do invites, but it sounds like you're following up and engaging the rest of the week. Like that's your job, is just to talk to people.
Oh yeah, so that's why I said that on a call I did a call for somebody a little bit ago, and they're always asking successful coaches, like, what do you do all day? Especially coaches that work full time. 85, maybe 90% of my time is just spent talking to people. Like that doesn't include my team or my boyfriend or my dog, like just talking to people on Instagram, Facebook. Like I spend all of my, like I said, I have 170, like I did a bunch before this call, and then I'm going to stay up late trying to get through those. And it's just, some of them are interact with this person, Snapchat this person, comment on this person's picture, ask this person about their trip to Vegas. Like when people tell me stuff, and Google Streak is cool because you can put stuff in the notes. So if somebody told me that they want to join a challenge group, but they're not going to get back from Europe for 2 months, I'll check in with them, but make the reminder to say, ask them how their trip was in Europe. Like everything is just completely spent just talking to people. The rest is spent like doing stuff for my team and other stuff, but all of it is really just all my full-time Beachbody time is spent talking.
That's so fun. So one question, oh wait, does anyone have any questions? No. One question I had, and I'm not sure if you want to share this because I get I get asked a lot, what hashtags do I use when searching for people? And when I share this all the time, and I notice like coaches on my team are commenting on the same posts that I'm commenting on. But what do you, either the exact hashtags or just like a general theme of hashtags that you use to find non-coaches? Because another thing is my newer coaches are like, all I find are people who are coaches or have a coach. So how do you find non-coaches?
So one, if anybody says that, I say change your hashtags. Just change it. Like, so many people are like, stop going through the hashtag if it's not working. I personally find food hashtags work the best. I just pick a dip of food, and I like picking like brands. So like I'll do like kombucha, I'll do coconut milk, I'll do I like RX bars. Laura bars seem to have a lot of coaches, so I avoid that. But I like, if I buy a new snack, I love going through the hashtag because usually there's not a lot of people in there, but the people that are using it, and this may be a little wrong of me, you can call me bad if not, but I like to use hashtags that are linked to expensive things. So not like Gucci or something like that, but like Vitamix. People who have a Vitamix spent $500 on a blender, they might spend $130 on a bag of Shakeology. RX bars are not cheap. Like you can buy a granola bar for like $1, but RX bars are like $3 or $4 a piece. So people who are putting in the money, I don't look at it as like, oh, I'm looking for people to spend money, but if they see value in themselves enough to spend money on a little bit more expensive food, I usually do that. So I love food hashtags. I think that you should use hashtags based on something. Like if you have endometriosis, if you have those things, a lot of times there are coaches in there. So I try to think outside the box. I do use those, but most of the time I really am using food. Like that's really a lot of my thing. Food, I haven't really found anything else, but honestly, I haven't been doing that as much. My main way of finding people, because that takes more time. If I have a lot of time to find people, I'll do it that way. But if I have like a really busy week and I just like want to find people quickly, I just go through all of my, the people who liked my posts from that past week social media, and I won't even bother like looking at the picture that they like. They'll just find new people, and I send them a message that says, hey, I just saw your name pop up on my Instagram newsfeed, or I saw your name pop up on my Instagram newsfeed earlier, and then I went to your page and like, you're killing the Instagram game. Like I love your page, it's so awesome. And then they're like, oh, thank you so much. And then again, I just start the conversation from them, and then I'm going to continue to interact with them. Sometimes if their Instagram is really, really great, I'm going to follow them. Like everybody always asks me, like, do you follow everyone? I don't. I do occasionally follow people, but I do this so often that if I followed everybody that I did this with, I would have like 10,000 people, following them. So that's usually what I do.
Okay. Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
All right. Last chance. Does anyone else have questions? I can see that you're talking, but you're muted.
Sorry, guys. So one last question. So when you do that, when you message people on Instagram, I have a very high rate of people not seeing the messages. Do you respond in a comment like, hey, love this photo, check your messages when you get a chance?
Yeah, I always say, I forgot to add that. I always add that. If I message 60 people, 10 people are going to respond. Almost always, I never get anybody to respond. So don't worry, it's not you. Most people don't know that there's a feature. So what I do is I comment on the picture and I say, hey, I usually comment on whatever the picture is too. So it's not just like one of those comments again where they're like, you don't even care what I'm posting. So it's like a picture of like, I don't know, their dog. I'm like, oh my God, your dog's so cute. By the way, I sent you a direct message on here. I'm not really sure if it went through, but I'd love to chat with you, or I love your page though. And I always say that. And if they don't respond to, and I talk about this in Google Streak, if they don't, in the Google Streak video that I'm going to send you, if they don't respond to that, they don't even respond to the message, because sometimes they will respond within the picture and then they'll say yes. But so in my Google Streak thing, I just set a reminder to check that picture. And then if they don't respond, I never remove anyone from Google Streak because I never want to accidentally message someone again. So I just move them to the contacted folder. Again, once you watch Google Streak, it'll make sense. And I keep them in there because a lot of times, I just had a girl message me who I messaged 6 months ago. And she's like, I just saw this message. Oh my God, thank you. She like sent me this big long paragraph. Thank you so much. I'm like, like this message like brightened my day, blah, blah, blah. So then once I see that they didn't not respond to me because they didn't like me, they just never saw my comment. And then eventually they did. So then I can, since they're all their information, all their notes, all the stuff I put in about them, all I have to do is move them back to like the forming thing, and then I'm good to go. So.
Awesome, thanks.
Of course.
All right, well, our other event starts in 3 minutes, so we're gonna let you go, but thank you so much for sharing all of that. That was a super great presentation. And I'll share with you guys the video that you mentioned too, the tracking video.
I'll send it to you right now, yeah, and let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you again, Alexis, and thank you guys for hopping on.
See you guys.
Have a good night, bye.